Ladies and gentlemen, I was focused watching Manchester City and Bayern Munich. I got a text saying, "Hey, I want to jump on Compas. What's going on? Like, why haven't you got me on the show?" I had to get up from watching that soccer game to because there's only one man that can call his shots and jump on Compas whenever he wants because he has such a busy schedule, and that's our compa Emmanuel Morgan, New York Times reporter. He covers all things NFL, UFC. He does it all. He's a man of many talents. First class. He's like kind of our version of Ric Flair, jet flying. He does it all. They bring out the red carpet for him, and now we bring out the red carpet on Compas for him. Emmanuel, thank you so much for joining Combat Compas.
I appreciate you having me, bro. It means a lot to be on the show, man. Y'all always talking about I had never time for y'all, but then when I want to come on, you don't have me on. So I'm glad my text got you away from soccer, so you can be talking about some fights.
I know, and that's why exactly we need to talk to you because obviously just a huge UFC 287 was big. A lot of big stars there. A lot of anticipation. Would Izzy be able to regain Israel Adesanya, be able to gain back his championship, or would Pereira get the best of him? Obviously, we know now, man. Izzy really took it to him, bro. I mean, what was the atmosphere like building up to the fight?
Yeah, well, I think like literally, so like I get to the arena around like 6. That's like when like the prelims start. So like the early prelims were going on, and then I got there. But like literally like as soon as I got to the prelims, like there's like almost like the arena was like half full. So I was like, wow. So like people like actually like wanted to come like see these fights. So like as the night like went on, like more people started to coming on. Like there's like a whole section of NFL players like to the left of me. It was like Odell, Justin Jefferson, the Bosa brothers,
Yeah.
Joe Burrow. I was like, oh wow, like I've been to maybe I think around 8 UFC fights by now. I've never seen like that many like level stars there. And then when President Trump came, they did like the arena kind of went nuts, like USA chants. So like it was like it was a cool event to be at. Like I would say like it was one of my favorite events that I've ever covered. Because I turned like the atmosphere.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, the atmosphere must have been like you said, complete. Like I saw your tweet. I think you tweeted it out that it was completely nuts the atmosphere and everything. But it seemed like the juices were flowing, that people were really into it. And I mean, we all know Dana White knows how to put on a show.
Yeah.
But when what do you think was like? Do you think the boos were louder for Pereira or the cheers were louder for Izzy when he walked into the towards the ring?
I think the cheers for Izzy was a lot louder. Yeah, and like throughout the week, like at the press conferences and all that, like people still like Izzy and like favored him to be like they still treat him like he was a champion. So they were cheering for him. They're booing for Alex, and then sending with Jorge obviously because it was like his hometown fight. Like they were cheering for Jorge a lot. But like it's star power like that loss he had in November. Like he didn't lose any star power. Like people started betting on him. He's still a betting favorite. Obviously Drake had the big bet he put on him. So yeah, like that people still rocking with Izzy the whole time.
What was the going into it? Like you said, what was that like? I mean, we all know last fight, the fight that they had, and I think it was in December. It felt like Izzy was that student that gets his homework done before time, and he does everything right, and yet Pereira was like that student that gets everything done last minute, and he ends up getting a better grade than the guy that did his like. It was just last minute. Pereira just goes at him, knocks him out, ends up taking the championship away from him. It just felt like one of those things where you're like, oh wow, like he just completely surprised everybody because Izzy was on him the whole freaking fight, just hitting him, taking it to him, and then obviously at the last minute he ends up beating him. But what was the mood like going into this fight? What do you think for Izzy?
Nah, Izzy was locked in. Like Izzy was like locked in the whole week. I had I sent an interview request in kind of late to the UFC. I was like, yo, can I get Izzy for like 5 minutes? Like backstage, and usually when I get like an interview across the UFC, like they do what they can to make it happen. I guess between Izzy being locked in and me being the interview request a little late, like we couldn't do it. So like that kind of spoke to me like wow, like usually like if I need something UFC like will help me out, but like even like Izzy like not being able to do it, I was like oh wow, like he's super locked in.
Yeah.
And then when he walked into the cage, I was just like looking at his face. He looked like very, very mad. I did cover, I think, 3 Izzy fights. I covered Izzy fight in 2021 when he fought Marvin. And then I was at MSG last year. So, but like I noticed, like I hadn't seen him like look that mad before. And then like as he was like watching Pereira come in, I just like see him like just hitting his hand with his glove, and I was like, oh wow, like he looked like very, very mad. Like he looked like incredible like then. So I was like, yeah, someone's gonna knock out this fight. So Izzy's gonna meet a pair, but so someone's gonna get knocked out this fight.
Izzy ends up knocking him out. What was it like? The stadium as soon as Izzy ended up knocking him out.
It was crazy. Because like it looked like the first fight because like the first fight he tripped and he went to the fence. And then he got pummeled. This time, Alex hit him with a lower leg kick. His leg buckled, so he had to go to the fence. Yeah, so he started covering up like, oh shoot, he's about to get knocked out again. But now Alex didn't respect his power, so he just like kept swinging wildly, and then Izzy hit him with 2 right hand shots, and then it is went to sleep. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like people were always talking about, oh, Izzy like doesn't have knockout power, doesn't even knock people out, but he put everything he had in those 2 shots, and then when he hit the hammer fist down, I was like, yeah, no, it's a wrap. So and then when he did that, the crowd went nuts. Like I was going nuts. Like it was, yeah, it was crazy.
When it seemed like that fight where Pereira beat him, it felt like that kind of humbled Izzy a little bit because after he's like, "Hey, can I take the microphone?" and Rogan was like, "Yeah, here you go," and he gives it to him, and he starts talking about how you can accomplish anything if you put your mind to it, and that obviously like that you just need to believe in yourself and go out there and sacrifice and do what you need to do and stuff. And I was like, oh wow, I thought it was a good speech, especially because some people need that kind of kick in the ass a little bit to like maybe hearing it for him. They're like, oh, okay, you know what? Yeah, let me take a chance. Let me do this. Let me do that. But I thought it was a good speech. Did you kind of get that from him as well? That for that last fight kind of humbled him, and not humbled him. I don't want to say it like that, but I kind of want to say like it kind of opened his eyes about, hey, like you really need to be prepared for this. If not, it could get taken away at any moment.
Yeah, I mean, look, like is he like if he admits it or not, he is the UFC's biggest star.
Oh yeah.
Right now, I think because Conor will always be the biggest star, but he hadn't fought in about a year and a half.
Yeah.
Ronda went to WWE. John Jones was dealing with what he had to deal with. So Izzy is the UFC's biggest star, and going into MSG, like you could see that he was doing so many interview requests. Like the UFC was like really pushing him before that fight. So I think he handled that very well. I mean, I don't even go to his head. I had went to his Airbnb a week before and kind of the interview with him there, and like he seemed cool. Like he didn't seem like it was getting to his head, but I mean, like when you're the face of the company, I mean that's a lot of pressure whether you admit it or not. So the fact that he went in, he hadn't lost at middleweight his whole career, and then he was winning the fight, and then he got one mistake, he got knocked out. Like yeah, that's gonna affect you. That's gonna really affect you. So yeah, he said in the post-fight interview, like he was like, yeah, no, that he needed that loss to make a better fighter, make a better person. So when he won, he was like let everything out.
Anything surprise you about him? I mean, anything that jumped out at you from interviewing him, seeing him post fight, or anything jump out at you about him? Like you're like, oh wow, like this is pretty cool about him, or kind of the way he is.
Just to be able to block out everything and be able to win, because like it's hard to win an immediate rematch. Like we just saw that with Kamaru. Like I thought Kamaru was gonna like dog wash Leon, but he didn't. Like I thought he was gonna just wrestle him the whole time, but he didn't. It seems like for whatever reason, like he was kind of gun shy because he saw what happened when he got head kicked. So just to be able to try to win your belt back after someone who knocked you out so viciously, like, it's very, very hard to do. So the fact that Izzy went in there and he was composed, he was able to weather the storm. Because Alex is huge, man. Like when you look at him in person, like he should be a light heavyweight. And the fact that Izzy was able to withstand those punches against the fence and was able to get that knee and stay composed and then hit him with those 2 shots. I mean, that shows level of mental fortitude. That's just level of his just like his focus, not be able to get rattled. I mean, he's very well coached. Eugene Behrman like knows how to get to him and knows how to get him focused. So the fact that he was able to stay composed in the fight and not be able to get so worked up about he got knocked out before. I mean, that shows like the level of champion that he is.
And it's funny because obviously Emmanuel, like we said, he's a compa. We love this guy. He even sent us a little VIP look about what Izzy did after the fight. Check this out. This is pretty funny.
Yeah, no, Izzy was tight, bro. Yeah, no,
Bro, what was that? What was that like when he comes over and he's like, type your shit?
I know what he was saying at first. Yeah, I really know what he was saying at first. So I mean, because UFC hooks us up. Yeah, they like the fighters. They all got to go through
You guys.
press before they get to the locker room. So yeah, it's always cool to like kind of videotape them. I can see what they do. Like normally they're just like kind of like locked in. They just kind of like walk past us. But nah, Izzy was cool with a few of the other reporters. So yeah, he was like talking to them and all that. So yeah, it was cool to see him. Man, Izzy's cool. He's a cool dude to talk to. He's a cool dude to just like kind
He
of.
seems like he's down to earth.
He's very down to earth. He's very down to earth. Yeah, when I went to his Airbnb in New Jersey for the first fight.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he was cool. Yeah, no, we talked a little bit. Kind of see him like how he handles like all of his teammates there, all the media there, and he's a really cool dude.
Yeah, I was telling Gilbert, I'm like, next time if we ever go to a UFC event, because I've never covered one, I'm like, we need to go with Emmanuel, like as his interns or something, because I need to see the way they treat him. I want to be treated, so I'm gonna roll with Emmanuel the next time we go to something like that. Real quick, Emmanuel, the other fight, the other co-main event, Gilbert Burns, obviously, he was able to. I was surprised. I thought Jorge Masvidal was going to go down, and numerous times you were like, "Ooh, he's going to go down here," and no, he would stay up, and he actually it went to decision, and obviously Burns beat him. But I thought, I mean, for it being Masvidal's last fight, it sucks that he didn't get the win. But what do you make of his career?
I mean, Dana said it at the press conference. He was like, that flying knee he had against Benesh can change his life. So you only need one moment just to make you a superstar. I mean, like Conor was already like coming up, but then when he had that knockout against Jose, like that blew him into the stratosphere. So it only needs one like one moment to make you a superstar and make you this a fan favorite. Like he was on a 3-fight losing streak, and the fans of Miami still were cheering for him. I mean, I guarantee you, like people like probably didn't even know like about his whole career, about how he's a street fighter and all that. But they're like, oh, Jorge's in the fight, like the way he carried himself, the way that he talks in media, like he's a draw. And so like they build a Miami card around him, even though it was a co-main event, even though he lost 3 straight. So it speaks to the level of you only need one moment to kind of make a career. Yeah, he lost the way he did, but yeah, he's still a fan favorite. He'll still be probably near the Hall of Fame. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
No, and you're right, because I mean, Bones Jones, we all know he's big, he's aggressive, being undefeated and all that. Like that's been his draw. Conor, I think it was when he won the 2 belts that really made him like the big star. Ronda Rousey, obviously, when she won when she was the first female UFC champion. So they all kind of make their marks, and Masvidal is going to go down. I think is one of the big draws of the UFC. What do you make of Burns? Do you think he's Gilbert Burns? Do you think he's like the next? Do you feel like he's got a chance at a title, or
yeah,
what do you think?
He's next up. Kamaru needs to take some time off, or Kamaru needs to probably needs another fight before he gets to Leon again, because he had a immediate rematch and kind of disappointed. So Kamaru is going to need at least like a little bit of time, probably another fight before he gets a title shot. We'll see what happens with Leon and Colby. But yeah, I think Gilbert's next. Bilal Muhammad's coming up. Like he's in that contention too. Dan already said that it's gonna be Gilbert next after Leon and Colby fight, but you can make an argument that Bilal should be next as well. But we'll see. Yeah, so not like Gilbert deserves a shot. And Bilal deserves a shot too. But the way that Gilbert won last week on a pay-per-view card kind of showed he can handle the pressure with that. Yeah, I think he deserves a shot next.
Just a couple more questions, Emmanuel, before I let you go. Thank you so much for giving your time. Francis Ngannou, is that it? Is he's never coming back to the UFC? It seems like Dana's dead set on he is never coming back to the UFC. Do you never say never, or do you feel like that's legit?
We'll see, man. We'll see. I don't know. They negotiated for 2 years. And when you're in negotiations, like there's got to be a lot of give and take. It appears on both sides that there's not a lot of give and take. So we'll see. Yeah, no, Dana's talking about he's probably never fight again. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens when John fights Stipe. Because literally when John fights him and if he beats him, there's no one in the heavyweight division that will be a good draw. Or like have a good fight for him.
That
So
fight would be killer.
I mean, so like literally like if John beats Stipe and the fans make such a big cry for uh Francis to fight John, I don't know, maybe they can get a compromise, maybe that can help negotiations, but I don't know, we'll see. I would lean towards no right now because it seems like Dana has mind made up, and when he makes the mind up, like it's hard for him to change it.
Yeah.
But
Did you see Francis and Jack in that new Jackass movie?
I did not know I need to though.
Dude, he like goes up, he punches like they don't tell the guy, they're like, oh hey, we have a amateur boxer who and so they bring him, he's like, that ain't no amateur boxer. And he goes up and he punches the dude in the nuts. It is like I can't remember how much weight he punched behind it, but they're like, that isn't no amateur boxer. That's Francis Ngannou. That dude's crazy.
I'll say this though too though, like Dana did say no to Conor and Floyd, but the fans made a lot of it, and that made a lot of money. So obviously Francis didn't have the cachet as Conor does, but we'll see. Yeah, no, it'll be really interesting to see what the UFC does if John beats Stipe, because there's like another fight to make in the heavyweight division besides that.
Will you be going to will you be headed to Las Vegas for Conor versus Chandler?
Yeah, they have announced whenever that fight is, but yeah, I will wherever that fight is, yeah, I'll be there.
Oh, that what do you think? What do you make of that? Should do you think fans will draw, right? Because it's Conor?
Yeah, it's Conor. Yeah, Conor can lose however many fights he loses, and fans don't want to watch him. So.
Did Dana say anything about Endeavor coming up, taking WWE, and now it's WWE UFC? Did he mention anything like that with you guys or no?
Yeah, so basically he said there's gonna be same old for the UFC side. Like he done division a lot of crossover. He was like, yeah, they're gonna do what we do, we'll do what they do. It's probably gonna mostly like affect the WWE on the business side. He's talking about like the sponsorships,
yeah,
budget, and then their television rights coming up. So he's like, yeah, Endeavor's probably lead negotiations with that. So it seems like probably the most like behind the scenes stuff. But yeah, it doesn't seem right now that it'll be a lot of like crossover with like the products like the UFC and the WWE.
Maybe the UFC will start scripting their fights.
I asked him about that, and he was like, yeah, that's not happening.
Last one for you, Emmanuel. I know you cover the NFL as well. What do you make of Odell Beckham Jr. to the Ravens? Do you feel like that kind of solidifies that Lamar should be back, or do you feel like that's still a toss up?
We'll see. I don't know. Odell's smart. Odell knows like how to play the game. So I doubt he would go to Ravens if he didn't have some reassurance that Lamar will be there. We'll see. I don't know. AFC North is like you got to run through Cincinnati to beat them right now. So I don't know like what that says at all about like the Ravens gonna instantly improve or whatever, but we'll see. Yeah, once we get word that Lamar gets back, we'll see the first few games how he and Odell play. Ravens gotta stay healthy, honestly, because Ravens been like so beat up over the past few years. So Ravens stay healthy. Odell and Lamar get a good chemistry. We'll see. But I need to see like first quarter season for you. I kind of give a prediction on that.
This man knows it all. That is why he is a compa. He calls his shot. He tells us, hey, I want to jump on. We're going to have him on. So we appreciate Emmanuel Morgan so much for jumping on with us, giving us all the knowledge, all the sights and sounds and even the video from UFC 287 with Izzy winning the championship back from Pereira. So thank you so much, Emmanuel, for jumping on with us.
Thank you, brother. I'll see you soon.